What is good, Tsla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And this one I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, and break down what's happening with the overall market thus far in terms of data and how things are looking, in my honest opinion, as we progress forward. But before we continue all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, for Tesla, looking at the way this thing is moving, this thing tried to push a little bit when we not when we opened, but during the start of the pre-market. We hit 176. This is like a liquidity grab where they triggered stops, and then this thing came right back down and we lost support right over here. So this is like a break of our structure. And this suggests that Tesla could rebound a little bit, then continue lower as we have this big gap below. So the chart is starting to turn a little bit more bearish for the short term. It's starting to turn, and we're seeing some weakness developing on the 4-hour time frame. But Tesla does have support at 170 to be watching for. If we do lose this, we'll turn even more bearish. If we hold it, we could maintain the structure, but the chart is continuing to show weakness. Now, today is Tuesday, March 19th at 11:30 a.m. Well, actually, let me just talk about some more data first. So, before the market opened, right, we actually had some data already that came out. We had some building permits above expectations. Same thing with housing starts. And despite this, I don't really think this is a cause in the market to move much. I would say that it has more to do with technicals and other factors like that. But now for the intraday data at 11:30 a.m., that's when you should be watching for the 52-week bill auction. So watch for volatility at that time. That's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then at 1 p.m., we have the 20-year bond auction coming out. So this is going to cause more volatility in the markets. We'll see what happens at those times. And after that, that's pretty much all the data that's coming out intraday, just two pieces of data. This is all getting us ready for Wednesday when we have the FOMC meeting with Jerome Powell giving a speech. That's coming out tomorrow. For news affecting the markets, futures have slipped a bit. They have been coming down a little bit on a downtrend. Nvidia is also talking about this next gen technology because they're introducing new AI chips. They basically had their first chip as the GB200, which is going to ship later on this year. But they mentioned that they're going to be building bigger GPUs, which are going to be a lot more powerful. They're going to cost even more. Uh, but Actually, they're not going to cost more. It's the a GP200 is going to cost a certain amount that's not disclosed yet, but the H100s are the ones that cost more. So I want to clarify that the H100s cost about 25,000 to 40,000 per chip. The new ones that are coming out for the GB200, we're not sure about the cost yet, but later this year it will be coming out. So that's a big development. Anyways, there's also news coming out about how basically, an analyst has found that looking at different banks, you could argue that they're kind of like overexposed to commercial real estate right now, and that could lead to some challenges moving forward with the high interest rates. So there's a risk of that, according to some analysts. On top of this, VW workers at a plant are filing a petition to continue with their organizations. And they're actually demanding more things from other EVs out there, other EVs and other automakers. So that's some important update for the time being, and we're going to watch to see what happens with that. That's all I'm really seeing on the news that's quite significant. As far as Tesla goes, there's a lot of news coming out about Elon Musk. Elon Musk is basically, he was in this interview with Don Lemon, and that's very, very important because when they were together, uh, Elon Musk defended his use of certain substances, pointing that it's very important for him. It helps him keep the company together, and that's what helped him lead the automaker. He also mentioned that what matters is execution. Tesla's worth about as much as the rest of the car industry combined from nothing. So, from an investor standpoint, it is something that he's talking that he should keep taking, and that what he's doing is working. So, he defended himself when it came to his exposure, the fact that he was exposed for using particular substances, and Musk is just continuing to do what's necessary. So, this is very, very important. During his interview, it was very, very serious. There were a lot of serious things that were said, and Musk just was very, very blunt and honest. So we are seeing Tesla drop amidst that news, and we're also seeing not really any other crazy headlines. Xpeng just had its earnings; they just saw some net positive margins, which is not too bad for them, and we saw increases in their overall revenue and nice guidance. So pretty good earnings from Xpeng, which is good for the EV sector. But despite that, Tesla is still coming down. So what am I seeing on the charts? Like I said before, Tesla supported 170. We're going to be watching support on Tesla at 170, 168, and then 165. We have resistance at 162, 172 is resistance, 173.75, and then 175. We may pop a bit, then continue lower, or just continue lower from here. We're going to be watching to see how well it holds 170. If we lose this, we're going to be looking for this gap to get filled way down here. So I would say the chart's looking bearish as we broke this structure. Could retest some liquidity here and then continue to lower, but the chart looks bearish to me, and I do see some more potential downside. For SPY, I'm seeing something very similar developing. SPY is actually trying to rebound a bit. It could actually push a little bit more. We could try to get back above 512.5 to push towards 513.5 and then 514.2. But I do see an attempt to rebound just a little bit into the 512s if it does try to push higher, but then it's going to eventually drop back down to 510, if not 508.5. So look for a little rebound. Either it's about 512, if not 513.5 to 514, like this range right here. It either pops a bit, then comes down, or it just pushes a little bit and then comes down. I do see it attempting to push a little higher upon open, but then I do anticipate it's going to come down lower as we still haven't fully filled this gap, and there is a risk of more downside. So look for a push up and a drop, maybe a small one, maybe it's a little bit bigger depending on how we react to 512, but then look for a pop and drop like structure, and that's likely going to play out. Onto the QQQ, we're seeing something very similar. The QQQ has this downwards channel, which I drew out, over the last couple of days. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing kind of pushes a little bit, then comes back down. We could retest 436, maybe a little higher, then eventually sink down to fill this gap, and then continue down to about 432. So look for a push to 436 or so, and then eventually a move back down. I do anticipate some more downside. And part of why I say that is because Nvidia is going to gap down. Nvidia is rebounding a little bit. That's going to help it, but it's still gapping down upon open. It could push a bit towards 880 or so. Could even try to fill its gap and then continue lower. If it does do so, this could help the QQQ rebound towards either 436 or 438. But I think that the QQQ's Nvidia is going to pop a little bit and help the QQQ, and then it's going to come back down. And the chart is still looking bearish because of the structure. We had this high here, we got rejected, made a lower high and got rejected. Look for a pop, and then a move right back down as Nvidia is showing some weakness. All right, so a little pop and drop on Nvidia may cause the same thing for the QQQ. And for Apple, I'm seeing something very similar on its structure. Apple's trying to rebound. We're going to be watching 175, 175.75, and then 176.2 is resistance. Watch 174 is support, 172.5, and then 170.9. Could push a little bit higher, but we're going to be watching resistance in the 175s and then a rejection back down and just sideways price action. Apple is showing some strength, so it may pop a bit, come back down, trade sideways, but that's what I'm seeing for the time being. With that being said, guys, I want to end the video from here. Thank you all so much for listening. Have an absolutely incredible day, and just be careful with Tesla. We're showing some weakness. I did call out how on the 30 minutes time frame, Tesla could get a rejection off its critical EMAs. Sorry, not the 30-minute, the 4-hour time frame. We have this resistance at the 50 EMA. If we continue to lose the 20 at this 170 area, we're going to sink even lower. So just be careful. Tesla's looking a bit weaker. So it is what it is, guys. Do what you have to do, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one. Thank you for listening, and peace out.